Hey guys, Riley the Nerd here. Today, we're going to actually be taking a look at some plushies. If you remember, oops, there's a hair on my desk. If you guys remember, during my earlier days on this channel, I used to do plush reviews. I don't do them anymore, for two reasons. One, it was kind of cringy, really kind of cringe, and also I really hated the lighting and quality of those videos, because I really hate just like of this shot right here of me like showing you to the camera. I usually like when I'm actually showing you on a review table and actually getting up close and personal. But for this, I'm gonna have to actually do this. But hey, we're back. But after those videos, I think the last video that I actually did was, I think it was the Auto plush review. That was the one that I was like, okay, I'm never doing plush reviews ever again. But I still kept making different plushies, some original and some like based on movies and stuff like that. But I've never actually taken a look at a plush collection from a specific series. Now, if you guys know me personally, I'm a big fan of Godzilla. Godzilla is probably one of my favorite probably my favorite film series ever. So I haven't seen the original, but I've only seen the 2014 one and the 2019 one, and I'm really excited for Godzilla vs. King Kong. I'm really excited for that one. By the way, Godzilla's gonna win. Okay, I'm betting that Godzilla's gonna win, so just letting you guys know that, but whatever. And I've only taken a look at one plush. That was, one plush, and it's right here. The Loot Crate exclusive Godzilla. I did a review on this a long time ago. It's one of my most popular videos, so you can just go and look that up, but I still have the tag on him, and he is still in very good condition, so this was my first Godzilla plush. And then, afterward, I made some handmade stuff. I made 3 handmade stuff. I was going to make a 4th one, but I decided not to, so we're going to go back in time and see how awesome that was. So the first handmade plush that I ever did was the, God, it's tangly, the Muto, the male Muto. This was the first plush I ever did for Godzilla. To be honest, I only liked the Mutos in that movie, and Godzilla was kind of brushed to the side. But I realize now that Godzilla is badass, and these things are also badass. But anyway, I decided to make this guy. I made this guy a long time ago. As you can see, he's kind of worn down just a bit. I actually pulled this guy out of my stuffy bin. I have a bin full of handmade stuffs and stuff like that. So if you want me to go through a handmade plush collection video, then go right ahead. I am going to be taking a look at all my OCs, not all my OCs like that I personally don't put out on YouTube, but I'm only going to take out the OCs that I've actually been on the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to take a look at this Muto. So, right here, it's very simple. It's not that big. Here's Godzilla for size. He's basically like, Godzilla's taller. But basically what I did was, it's very simple. Let me look on the back here. So, that's not, don't mind that, okay? But I literally just cut out a piece of felt, and then I just kind of glued it and stuffed it. But the arms here are actually have pipe cleaners in them, so they can actually stretch and bend and all that stuff. So, but I like to keep the end of the arm bent for, because they have like the bent arms, and then he has the tiny little arms here, and then his head is not stuffed. It's actually just one piece of fabric, so it kind of just loses across. And there's his eye that actually kind of and also that goes across, and his jaw that doesn't. It's just loose. And then his tiny little wings here. What I wish that I've changed in this plush was actually the wings. I wish that I made the wings a little bit bigger instead of these little freaking flappy birds here. So he more looks like a flappy bird than a Muto. So, yay, I guess. Anyway, so that's that one. And his little feet here, they're not stuffed as well. So this was back then before I even made really good plushies. I mean, this one is still good. I think that's probably one of my best ones. And I think that it's adorable. Anyway, so now, I only made the male Muto, but I did make the female one. But I recently rewatched Godzilla, and I decided to A couple of years after I made that one, I rewatched Godzilla, and then I decided to make it. So here it is. Here she is. She's way bigger than the male, obviously, so bam, you got different size there. So basically what I've made, it's the exact same design. Basically, you got the giant square stuffed, and you have the arms here, which are way bigger and longer. But I decided to actually kind of... Her arms are kind of tricky to get through, but... so basically, that's how they're supposed to look like. So that's what she looked like in the film. And then she has the tiny little, like, chest arms there. And she has the little eggs there. I wish that I made the eggs a little bit more bigger and a little bit more eggs on there. But the actually, like, the belly is actually, like, stuffed. So I took a little piece of felt and I actually glued it and then I stuffed it. So, very nice. And then we have the tiny little tiny little legs there. So, same thing. And the head is way bigger. And the eyes are basically the exact same. So, that's pretty much it. And then I stopped making Godzilla plushes for a long time. Until... I recently watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, yes. That movie is fantastic. I think that the monsters, the kaiju, Titans, you can't say kaiju anymore. God damn, thank God Hollywood's dead. Just kidding, it's not dead. Anyway, but, they did those kaiju some sweet justice in that film. Especially our next one, which is... little King Ghidorah here, but I'm just gonna give my little short review of that movie. Kaiju, fantastic. The battles, awesome. Special effects, awesome. Sound design, awesome. Human plot, can go jump off a cliff and never bring it back up, ever. Can go kill itself, and all that stuff. But the only good thing out of that movie was, of course, the kaiju and the battles and all that. But the only good actor that I could actually care about is Millie Bobby Brown. She's, like, the only good actress in that movie. So, great, I guess. But anyway, enough with my movie review to aside, because I have a lot to talk about. But this is a review channel, not a movie review channel. Technically, I could actually do movie reviews. Let me know if you guys want to see me do some movie reviews. That would actually be way better. Anyway, but I recently made King Ghidorah. He's... floppy as all hell, but doesn't matter. But this is a recently plush, and I've actually, because I never really cared about King Ghidorah. I only knew that he had 3 heads, and that was pretty much it. But I never actually really cared about him. He was never really my favorite. Godzilla or the Mutos were actually my favorite until I reached King of the Monsters, and I really like this guy. I love it. But basically. So this plush is very simple. Instead of making the body just felt, I've actually took in some socks. That's how I make my bodies of my plushies a little bit fatter and a little bit slinker down. Because if I make the bodies like just plain felt, it wouldn't stick out and it wouldn't look as great. So the sock is, I wish I made his body a little bit shorter, but whatnot. But here's the sock. It's a very plain sock. But if you look very closely, there is some white stripes across. And I didn't like the white stripes. But it actually kind of gave it a little bit more depth, I think. So, and we have the giant wings here, which are very nice. And basically, these are probably long. This thing is long. I think that he's probably one of my longest plushies I've ever made. Brain from 9 is actually my biggest one, but he is certainly gotta be the longest boy. So, let's take a look at his wings. So, as I said before, the wings are huge. And if you can see, since the light is passing through, you see that little line there? That's actually pipe cleaner. So, it could get a bend in there, so you could just get some wing poses in there. So, I try to make my plushies articulated so I can actually get some good detail, like some good shots with it. So basically, you know you have the wings can scrunch down, but I like the wings where it's all sprout out, and you got that famous shot where he's on top of the mountain, and he's got like his wings like that, and he's roaring in the sky. And then his feet here, the feet are still the same, but I've actually made pipe cleaners in them, so they can actually bend. And also the hot glue is coming off, probably because I spent too long trying to glue it on, but pipe cleaners in the feet so it can bend. And then his feet here are where I actually had to glue all these little nails on. And then on the back here, we have his 2 tails. I wish I made his tails a little bit longer, but I didn't want to make them too long. And also his little spikes are individually glued on as well. So this one has less spikes than this one. This one has way more spikes. So that's the front, and then that's the back. You can't really see how much spikes, but if I turn to the side, you can see how thick that is. So, whatnot. And then I actually glued on these little, like, because his wings have, like, little, I don't know what those spikes at the end of them are. So, I got those ones there, and I also have the little claw at the end there. But let's take a look at his 3 heads. And so his 3 heads all have bendy wires in them, so they can bend, they can stretch, they can, you know, do all that weird stuff. But the heads here, he has hair in his mouth. God damn it. Anyway, just got some hair there. But for the heads here, they have his top head. The top of his head has 2 layers. So we have the top layer and the middle layer there to give it more thickness. And then I actually glued on some of this pink mouth color in there. And then I actually can't speak apparently. I actually glued on these little teeth parts here, and I actually glued on these eyes here and the little horns. So I didn't want to make all his horns because that's a lot. So I decided to give him the 2 long horns and the 2 smaller ones on the side. And there's his little eyes there, and I actually took a Sharpie and just slightly colored them to make it look like he has his slit pupils. I didn't want to stick black felt on there because that would be a pain. And this head is the largest head, so you can actually see those layers there, and you can see the little these horns on the side are a little bit too small. But these ones are the longest ones. And then right over here, we have his little teeth in there, and everything is the exact same. And bam, now we have that one. To be honest, I think I did really well in the heads. The one thing that kind of bothers me is that they kind of look goofy, especially the middle one. I mean, he looks extremely goofy. And this one also kind of looks goofy. The only one that actually looks kind of scary is that one. So maybe because I put his little slits actually are on the side, so they look scary. But this one, he just has straight. So maybe I should redo that one. And also, he has a very nice plushy body. And also, I stuffed it to a brim. So if you could just squish it like that, it will keep its shape. So you just you could just bend it. You could just stretch it. I mean, don't stretch it, obviously, but bend like that. And also, some people have given me want me to give some tips for some plushies. Basically what I do, Jesus, this video is going on for 12 minutes. Okay, this video is going on way longer than it should be, but people have wanted me to give some tips about their how to make handmade plushies. If you want to make characters from movies or your own original characters, what I recommend is that you should what you should do is that you should sketch out your character first. Make sure that's a really good sketch. And then as you're done that, you should get felt. I have a felt box way up top on this shelf right here. I have a lot of felt. So you should pick the colors of your felt. Usually I get them from Michaels. Michaels is probably the only place that actually has felt. So if you have Michaels, then go right ahead. Pick out your felts. And there's different thickness of felt. There's thin felts that are kind of see-through. The white ones are very see-through. But some black ones are really thick. But it really depends on how thickness you want it. But they usually, only the black ones I think only come in thickness. But they have some pretty big felt lengths. Anyway, as I was saying, as you do, you want to make sure you get all the hard parts out of the way first. So I made the heads first. Then the neck, and then. But if you have a sock, I recommend having a sock. An old sock, buy some socks, whatever, color, whatever. Then you could stuff it first, and then you have your main body shape, and then you figure out where you want to put stuff. Then, make the hard parts first, so the heads, the necks, or the wings, or the things. After you're done that, if you want posability in them, take a pipe cleaner, and then you want to kind of stick it in whatever layer that you want, and then take a hot glue gun. Usually hot glue gun is the better one. And then you want to glue it on, and then after it dries pretty quickly, so then you can actually bend and stuff like that. That's pretty much not really in depth of how I make my plushies, but I may make a tutorial video of how to do it. So I guess, maybe, or whatever. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give it a like, comment. I don't really care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.